first of all, I'd like to thank the organizers for having me come across from the continent, meaning Europe, which is where I'm based, and across from the other continent, on the other side of the pond, which is where I come from the U.S. I'd like to start this morning with a quote from a gentleman from long ago and far away, a gentleman named Horace, who said, "No man," I put in the woman, "ever reached excellence in any profession without having passed through the slow and painful process of study and preparation." And I thought, oh yes, exactly what we need to talk about today, how slow and painful is our process of becoming professionals in what we do. Today I'd like to take you on a journey that includes all of us. That's why you have this nice sheet of paper that I've passed out before. A journey with me on my thoughts about what we should be doing and our common goals that we need to be thinking about to becoming better English professionals. My name is Rhonda Bowen. I moved to Germany 26 years ago with degrees in German, ESL, and a business administration minor. So I actually studied some business as well as languages in my former life. And I came to Germany and I worked for language schools for a while. Not being European, it takes a little longer to get these things organized. But 21 years ago, I started my own company, which is called BELS, Bowen's English Language Learning Services. Very long, you just have to remember it's on the card. When I did this, I was 29. I was young, at German standards at that point. I was American. I didn't speak British English. I was a woman. I wasn't married. I didn't have a family. I was all by myself. And people were saying, "Are you crazy? What are you doing setting up a business? What are you going to do if it doesn't work?" Doomsday ideas. And I said, you know, I could clean hotel rooms, or I could do lots of other things. I went to university for 7.5 years. I'll find something. But it's 21 years down the line, and I'm still doing what I love to do. And they were all wrong, and I'm very happy that that's the case. I'd like us to reflect this morning on going on a journey, and I would like to compare it to climbing a mountain. There's an Italian saying that says, "Many paths lead to the top of a mountain, but when you get there, the view is always the same." I don't know much about Italian mountains. I've lived more in Austria, where there are also mountains, but I have a feeling the view isn't always the same. A, how tired are we when we get to the top? B, is it nice weather or is it foggy weather? Maybe the view isn't the same. Maybe we've come up a different side of the mountain than other people. Maybe the view isn't exactly the same. Well, one thing we know, when we're going up that mountain, whatever it is, there are different angles. You know, sometimes it's really easy. And the slant that we need to be able to do something isn't so tough. And we spend some time trying to figure it out, and then at some point, maybe it gets a little more difficult, and we're more challenged with things. And at various times in our careers, we have to decide what the slant is and how we overcome it. And I'm not a big mountain climber, but I know people say you would never climb a mountain barefoot. You would never climb a mountain in high heels. You need good shoes to climb a mountain. You need shoes that will protect your feet. You will need shoes that will support you when you do things. And for me, that's the original training we had as English teachers, be it business English or general English at the beginning. What did we learn at university or in a special course that gives us the background and the support that we need to really move forward? I think all of us here, coming in from a very professional point of view, have gone through this training, and we know this is what we fall back on. When the going gets tough, we know where we come from, and we know what that means. But that's not the only thing we need. What we're doing today, for me, I've given you a little piece of it, is for me the rope. When the shoes don't do it anymore, when we don't have enough just in our feet, we need something to help pull us up the next part of the journey, and that's a piece of rope. The rope is what we're doing now. We've come here, we've decided to listen to other people and their experience. We've decided to learn more things to help us pull us along on our journey. And when we do that, we have a chance then to gain new ideas, a chance to see things from a different place. And if we don't, at some point, we're at the end of our proverbial rope. We can't do things anymore. We can't move any further forward without any help. But then, what happens if we only pull on this rope? I've picked this rope because you feel it's not very nice if you just pull on it with your hands. We need other things. It doesn't matter how much we learn. If we don't wear gloves, if we don't have something that's inside of us, that's part of us, then pulling on that rope doesn't do any good. We have to combine that with who we are. The qualities we bring from the rest of our lives, we all do things outside of being business English trainers, the things that we were given as talents and abilities and qualities long before we even knew what a school or a university looked like. And this combination of having the rope and having the gloves to pull means that that combination brings us forward. But what if we don't have any contact with the mountain? For me, the mountain is what we're trying to achieve, is the challenge that we're going through. And that's our connection with our clients. Somehow, we have to hook into that. Just as people use hooks to get a place in the mountain that's fixed, we have to know what the clients want. We have to know what hook we get so that we make the connection between ourselves and our clients. And once we've climbed to a certain level, whatever little plateau that is we're at on the mountain, we come to a point which I, speaking from a marketing point of view, would consider a USP. What is my personal unique selling proposition? What is the thing that I bring through all of these things that I'm doing while climbing the mountain that makes me different from others? But we don't just reach that once and then stop, because we're all still climbing the mountain. That's what we're here for today. That's why we're here to see what else we're doing. And what is it that we bring to give our clients? What is it that we bring ourselves through all of these things while we're climbing the mountain that helps us provide for our clients what we need? And if you thought this was all going to be my presentation, you're wrong, because it's now your turn. I've given you a piece of paper. It looks a little bit like the sky, I hope. Take a moment to just sit and write down some of the things that you personally think are things that you bring on your journey up the mountain that are helpful for you and helpful for your clients. This is not going to be show and tell. Nobody has to say anything. Yeah, just take a moment to write things down and reflect for yourselves what it is that makes you unique.